What's happening, ghoulies? Welcome to the Voina experience. Thank you so much for joining us on this video where we review Spirit Halloween the movie. Now, I know that we are not normally a movie review channel, so this is something a little bit out of our normal niche, but I felt that since it is Spirit Halloween the movie, it's probably appropriate because I've noticed that a lot of people on social media have a lot of questions about the movie and are curious about it in a lot of different aspects, so I wanted to maybe address some of those concerns and questions and to give our viewpoint as to how Spirit Halloween the movie actually turned out in the end. So some of the things we're going to be talking about here in this video, I wanted to just sort of give, an overall summary of the plot. We're going to talk about some of the actors and the costume choices. I definitely wanted to address the animatronics that were featured in the movie and their effects and things of that nature. We wanted to talk about some of the more creepier elements of the movie and if the movie is in fact suitable for some of the younger audiences out there. I've seen a lot of posts about parents being a little concerned if the movie was too scary for their youngsters out there. And since we are a family of haunters here, I thought we would give our opinions and viewpoints as to how we feel the movie responds to the younger audience. We have some younger kids, as you know. So if you are not familiar with Spirit Halloween, the movie, or if you haven't seen it, spoilers are coming. Spirit Halloween, the movie, is the story of a group of coming-of-age teenagers who, as an attempt to have one last sort of trick-or-treat Halloween hurrah before they become cool teenagers, lock themselves inside of a Spirit Halloween store and spend the night there as a way to spice up their Halloween traditions. Little do they know that the property grounds of the Spirit Halloween store is possessed by the ghost of Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd, a number of years earlier, was some angry, deranged property owner who wanted to bribe the property. There was an orphanage there, and he wanted to tear down the orphanage, I believe is how it went. And then he was killed by some voodoo magic, and his angry soul possessed the grounds to seek revenge. And then, of course, Spirit Halloween builds a store there, which we felt was just the perfect homage to Spirit Halloween itself and, them buying out or them renting out old locations for the stores. So that's basically the premise of the story. Is a group of teenagers spend the night inside of a Spirit Halloween store that's possessed by an evil spirit of Christopher Lloyd. And the animatronics and the things inside the store come to life to attack them. So that being said, I think that the general audience needs to sort of dial back a little bit of the higher expectations. I've been seeing a lot of negative remarks about it being a campy movie or a corny movie. And I just think that people need to understand that in terms of being a scary movie, this, we're not talking about some Oscar-nominated psychological thriller. This is a movie about teenagers getting locked inside of a Halloween store where the animatronics come to life. So, you should go into it expecting a little bit of goofiness and campiness, as that's kind of the general idea. It is a Spirit Halloween themed movie, and Spirit Halloween appeals to audiences of all ages, so you're not gonna see some sort of a gore bloodbath. It's just a simple, goofy, Casper Hocus Pocus style of movie where it's just fun, goofy, not to be taken seriously. And I think that if people understand that, they'll have a little bit better time enjoying the movie. So talking about some of the actors, and I really enjoyed the fact that Christopher Lloyd is in the movie. Christopher Lloyd is a very animated actor and definitely a character actor, and I think he brings a very Halloween-spirited element to the movie, as he was the actor who plays Uncle Fester in the Addams Family movie. I think it just sort of gives it an extra Halloween edge to have Christopher Lloyd in the movie. He is just as every bit of Christopher Lloyd as you would expect and hope him to be. The other actors do a fine job as well. Again, like I said, these are a group of coming-of-age teenagers. Just and that's what it is. You know, they're trying to be cool, and that's exactly what they are. They're just teenagers. So I think all the actors did a fine job at delivering what the characters that they were intended to be. Had a mixture of characters in the group. So you have the main actor, the main character, who is this teen who really loves Halloween. It's been a tradition in his family, trick or treat every year, always about the scary stuff. And he's always shared trick or treat with his school friends. Well, now they're getting a little older, and some of the school friends feel like they're getting too old for trick or treat, too old for Halloween, and they want to do other things that are more older. And so he's kind of caught between wanting to be with his friends and then also wanting to hang on to his tradition. So the actors and the characters are going to give you that nostalgia feel of what it was like to really be gung-ho about trick-or-treat and Halloween, and trying to find that line of growing up and hanging on to something that we love. So there's definitely a nostalgia feel to the movie all the way around. The costuming was really great in a lot of the aspects. I mean, you know, for teenagers, they're basically costumed in what teenagers would wear. Christopher Lloyd, being the ancient spirit or the older ghost, has a great costume. My favorite costume probably from the movie was our older teen girl, the sister. She's dressed in kind of like the Harriet Hustle clown type outfit, which was kind of cool because then she does later on become possessed by the spirit, and she then portrays the clown sort of aspect of the movie, and she's kind of dressed in that with the striped pants and like the ponytails coming out of the side, and she kind of definitely had a creepy clown vibe. I really enjoyed her costume a lot. I thought out of all the costumes that hers was the most creative. So briefly, I want to talk about the animatronics in the movie. So of course, the animatronics are going to be the main focus that a lot of people are interested in and seeing in the movie is the animatronics coming to life. We all had the fantasy of being locked in a Halloween store, Spirit Halloween, and what would happen if the animatronics came to life? Seeing the animatronics come to life was definitely a huge plus. There were a lot of animatronics that they had to pull from, and they of course can't feature all the animatronics. I think they did a pretty good job of choosing which animatronics to put in the movie. I personally would have enjoyed seeing a few others. I was kind of hoping to see a Wacky Mole come to life. He's one of my favorites. But I was definitely not disappointed in their choices. We got to see Buzzsaw, Mr. Dark, and there was a couple other ones. And they didn't only focus on the animatronics. They also incorporated some of their static props and a lot of their costumes, masks, and some of the other things that you see in the store. And I think that the effects on the animatronics that come to life were exceptional. I am not a huge fan of computer-generated effects and special effects of that nature. I love practical effects and seeing actors in costumes. Even though they sometimes don't look the way you want them to, I think there's just a different element of creepiness that comes to seeing an actor in a costume rather than... I'm not scared of a computer image. So if I see a computer graphic coming at me, I'm not going to be scared. But if I see that something that looks realistic, goofy, campy or not, it's going to affect me more than a computer-generated graphic. The fact that they used practical actors, practical effects in costumes rather than computer-generated effects, I feel was a huge bonus for seeing the animatronics come to life. Buzzsaw was definitely an awesome scene. I definitely think that Nightcrawler steals the show. He was definitely one of the creepiest moments of the movie and probably the creepiest animatronic that I saw in the movie. So hats off to Nightcrawler and Buzzsaw. So some of the more scary scenes in the movie, I definitely think, as I mentioned, that Nightcrawler, his scenes were definitely probably the creepiest in the movie. So if you're wanting to wonder, how scary does this movie get, this right here with Nightcrawler is probably the scariest point of the movie, at least we felt. And even that being said, it wasn't horribly scary because we were all familiar with Nightcrawler. My kids knew what Nightcrawler was, so even though he was a little creepier in the movie, we weren't all that, turned off by Nightcrawler because we were aware of what he was. I kind of felt that's how it was for all of the animatronics and all of the creepy moments, that even though they were creepy, we knew what it is. We're familiar with seeing the masks. We've seen these animatronics. We know what they are. So even though they're creepy, we're not terrified and horrified. Definitely all of the animatronics, and when all of the masks and costumes and everything starts coming to life at the end of the movie, was hands down probably one of the other creepiest moments, and probably my favorite moment of the movie. Spirit Halloween just come to life everywhere. Masks, costumes, animatronics, props, all of it. It was so cool. And if you're a fan of the stores, as you know what I'm talking about, seeing everything come to life was great. I think they did a great job picking which elements of Spirit Halloween to put in the movie. They really touched on everything in a good way. Masks, costumes, static props, animatronics, everything was hit in a really cool and creative way. And as far as being too scary for children, we here at TV, we have small children, younger children, and my youngest son definitely loved it. You know, again, there's some creepy moments, but those creepy moments weren't so creepy that they were turned off. It's just, oh, it's Nightcrawler, but they laughed and had a good time because they know the Nightcrawler animatronic. So I feel like if your kids are kids that go to Spirit Halloween and they're familiar with what's inside Spirit Halloween, and if they've watched the YouTube channels and they've you know, if they're Spirit Halloween fans, they're not going to be too scared from this movie. It is not presented in a horrific, scary way. It's presented much like Spirit Halloween itself is presented. So much fun that it's scary. Fun, creepy, but you're not going to have nightmares about it because it's just things that you're already familiar with. So again, everybody's different, I understand, and everybody's going to react differently, but overall, we here at the Voina Experience do not feel that the movie is too scary for young children. If your children already go and are familiar with the store, they're going to have a blast with this movie. I loved it. Megers loved it. The kids loved it. We all had such a great time watching Spirit Halloween, the movie, that it's going to become a regular part of our movie watching experience here during the Halloween season. And I encourage you guys to check it out and see for yourself just how fun and creative this movie was. Again, don't go into it thinking you're going to see some life-changing psychological thriller that's going to terrify you and change your life. It's just a fun, simple movie of some kids spending the night inside a Spirit Halloween that's possessed by Christopher Lloyd. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how bad can it really be? And it's just not. It's everything you would expect it to be. It's a very awesome and respectful tribute to Halloween. For all of you Halloween lovers out there who love the holiday and you want to pay some tribute to your inner child, watch Spirit Halloween, the movie. You are going to feel that magic all over again. You're going to want to immediately go to the stores and start shopping. It is a fun, fun movie all the way around. Well, guys, that about does it for our movie review of Spirit Halloween, the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe link if you want to see more. Check out where our next stop is going to be during the Halloween season and what crazy animatronics we're going to find. Hope you guys had a good time. And until then, we'll catch you later, ghoulies.